What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the 40K Cafe, and thank you, Framed Smoker, for the request. Have there been any recorded planets that have survived Exterminatus? So I can't say for certain that there have been actual survivors of the act itself of Exterminatus, but I can think of a few situations that may fit the criteria. First and foremost, I'm going to be talking about the Istvan III atrocity. In this particular situation, this is considered the start of the Horus Heresy, and it is when the traitorous legions decided to get together and purge their loyalist kin on the planet's surface. One of the methods that the traitors were going to use to eliminate all of the loyalists that were on the planet's surface of Istvan III were going to be the utilization of a virus bomb, which has been used before for Exterminatus. If it wasn't for the efforts of Saul Tarvitz warning everybody on the surface, then everybody would not have survived this. But to describe what happens, usually the virus bomb would consume every single piece of living matter on the surface, and then all the excess gases of decay would then become extremely volatile and flammable, to which they would fire a single shell into the planet's atmosphere, burning the surface alive. And this is what would eliminate any single living creature on the surface, almost guaranteed. But as we know, again, due to the efforts of Saul Tarvitz, there were multiple survivors that would end up resulting in the long drawn out battle between the loyalist Astartes and the traitors Astartes. The second situation that I can think of would be the destruction of Cadia. And I'm not talking about in recent lore where the planet was split in half. I'm talking about after Lorgar went on his pilgrimage. I've mentioned this before. He went on to bombard the planet's surface with cyclonic torpedoes. This is another method of Exterminatus, and he ended up doing this in order to purge any recollection or memory of him ever arriving on this planet for the pilgrimage. That way, whatever treachery that he was ever to undergo would not come back to haunt him until the time was right. But as we know, the Cadian people were resilient and would end up coming back as loyalist servants of the Emperor. And lastly, another event that I'll talk about would be the destruction of Krieg. Where the Kriegsmen come from, the planet Krieg is widely considered a toxic, uninhabitable wasteland. And the reasons for this is because long in its history, before it became what it was today, there was a civil war and tragic outbreak, which I've also mentioned once in my videos before. But during the civil war of traitors and loyalists, the planet's surface would be bombarded in an effort to eliminate all of the traitors, more accurately to say, if I can't have Krieg, then nobody can. Billions upon billions of individuals would lose their lives, but as we know it, the Kriegsmen are resilient and would survive underground. I know this isn't exactly a form of Exterminatus, but the effort was there for the same results. And as I've said, the Kriegsmen would go on to survive these tragic events and come out more loyal and zealous than they've ever been. So the actual command of Exterminatus itself, I can't say for certain if there's ever been any survivors, as I can't recollect any, but maybe there have been. But these are three prime examples that, although may not be Exterminatus, might as well be, as each of these scenarios have utilized forms of Exterminatus, just not the outright command of it. Frame Smoker, thank you again for the request, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Drop a comment if there's anything you guys want to hear about next, and as always, remember to follow for more.